During the summer of 1972, I went on a 2-week backpacking trip in the Wind River Wilderness in Wyoming. It was a magnificent experience. I learned how to make coffee in a coffee can, smoke cherry cigars, Tiparillos of course, and how to build a one-match fire with wet wood. On the trail one rainy afternoon, a bearded man with a gigantic heavy backpack kept walking by us. It was a long day of hiking, and I remember saying to my friend Doug, "I don't understand how this guy with a big backpack keeps passing us." We would walk briskly by him, and then when we were near exhaustion and almost asleep on the side of the trail, he would come walking by with his big pack and a beautiful smile on his face. About 6 o'clock that night, as we were trying to summon the energy to cook dinner, I looked across the lake and saw on a ledge this super hiker with the gigantic backpack. I hiked over and up to where he was. We talked for a while, and then with great courage I asked him, "Aren't you tired from the climb today?" He then explained to me that when he is out on the trail, he walks slowly and deliberately with great intention. He makes his footsteps small, his breathing slow, and always looks up at the horizon. Great advice, I thought to myself. As I said good night to that teacher on the mountain, he said, 2412. I said, "Yeah, 2412 to you too." I wanted to add good buddy because it sounded like something that used to be said on the CB radio, but it just didn't sound right. I thought this was a nice, cool way of saying have a nice day and a good night. I thought about his wisdom before falling asleep that night, and since then, whenever I'm out in the wilderness, out hiking, I follow his walking advice. It was his way of telling me to slow down and to enjoy the journey. And over the years, I've come to realize that he was talking about much more than how to hike. His advice was much bigger than that. In this week's Torah portion, we read, "Aleh alai hahara vayeh sham." God said to Moses, "Come up to me on the mountain and be there." Menachem Mendel of Katz points out a difficulty in the text. If Moses came up to the mountain, wouldn't he be there already? Why would God bother to add the additional direction, "Be there"? The answer, that is, even though Moses may have ascended the mountain, he might not necessarily be present enough to receive the revelation. Menachem Mendel of Katz adds that being there is not just a geographical description, but rather a call for us to live in the moment, no matter where we are. The divine voice is found whenever and wherever we are both physically and spiritually present. And now, 48 years later, I think I know what the mystic on the mountain meant when he said 2412. In this week's Torah portion, it says, "Aleh elai hahara vayeh sham." God said to Moses, "Come up to me on the mountain and be there." Exodus 24:12. Maybe he was my good buddy. 24:12.